Welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you're here. If you're new here, this channel is for fitness, motivation, tips, tricks, and so much more. So if you like that stuff, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you get alerted when I make new videos. This video is basically going to be a beginner's guide for counting macros, determining what macros even are, what is a macro diet. So I'm gonna be going through all those things with you in this video today. Also, feel free to drop comments at any time if you want me to elaborate on anything, or if you just like the video, let me know. Macro tracking is just basically another way to lose weight and count your calories. It's a lot more flexible. It allows you to add other foods that you love that maybe you thought you had to cut out or restrict yourself from. Now, who doesn't want to follow a less strict diet? All we know is we can't eat this, we can't eat that, we gotta cut out this, we gotta cut out that. Now, macro counting it can be referred to macro counting, macro tracking, same thing. Macro tracking is another way to lose weight, but be able to incorporate all the foods you love. So maybe I should first go over what are macros. What does macros mean? Macros is short for macronutrients. Macronutrients make up most of the food we intake per day. Protein, carbohydrates, and fat. These three components make up the majority of what you eat. Now, tracking macros is monitoring how much of each of those three things you intake per day. Now, why do we want to do this? Well, because this can be beneficial when you're trying to change your body composition, whether you're trying to cut down on fat or build muscle, get bigger. It's different body types, different body goals require different amounts of these things. Protein, carbs, and fats. You need different amounts depending on your goals. That's why it's important to focus on macros, not just the amount of calories you eat. The way you monitor the three macronutrients that you're eating per day is you weigh out your food and you track it in an app. For example, I use MyFitnessPal. Whatever food I cook, I search the MyFitnessPal database, import it into my phone, type in how much I'm having, and then the app automatically tracks how much protein, how much carbs, and how much fat is in the food that I'm eating. Now, it sounds very complicated, but if you stay tuned throughout this video, I'm gonna go through step by step how I do it. I'll show you screenshots, and if you have questions, drop them below. I'll try to answer. Please don't just grab any old macro number off the internet. There's a lot more that goes into it. You don't wanna harm your body. You wanna do good for your body. You wanna get to your goals. Make sure you do your research. There's an online calculator called tdeecalculator.net. I'll link it in the description below, or you can contact my friend Dan. I will also link him below because he does customized macro plans and will work with you one-on-one to find out your daily intake. Dan's custom macro programs only cost $20, but there's free sources out there also, but you just need to make sure you really understand what you're doing because you don't want to screw up your body either. That would be bad. Next, I'm going to take you into my kitchen and show you how I track my macros. Alright guys, so it is dinner time. I'm going to show you what I'm going to be cooking, so get ready. So tonight's dinner is going to consist of broccoli. I'm going to make some ground beef, like a stir fry sort of thing. Here are the macronutrients. So as you can see, there's some nutrition facts right there with a barcode. So what you'll do is you'll scan that barcode. It'll show up in MyFitnessPal. But this is the macronutrients for the beef raw. I will go through that later on in the video. I'm also going to be having this rice that I already made, so I'm just going to warm it up. Alright guys, here's the scale I use to weigh out my food. I check the nutrition facts to see what unit the food was weighed in. For the beef, it's weighed in ounces, so I'm just gonna change the unit to ounces for when I measure the beef. And then I'm gonna put my plate on there, and I'm gonna tear it so it goes back to 0. That way I can keep track of how much beef is on my plate. Alright guys, so the food's done. I'm gonna show you how to weigh it out now. Turn on your scale, make sure it's set to the proper unit. So for beef, the nutrition facts are in ounces, so we wanna make sure that we're in ounces. Put your plate on the scale, tear it so it reads 0, and then scoop the amount of beef that you're gonna have. Now remember, I was telling you guys that beef is lighter after it's cooked. You wanna make sure you account for that because you'll end up eating more calories than you expect if you use the raw macros on the back of the nutrition facts. So it's kind of a pain to deal with that. So what I do is I just take an average number and I multiply it by the amount of beef cooked in my plate. So basically I'll take 4 ounces cooked and I'll multiply it by 1.3 because 1.3 is roughly the ratio of how much less the beef weighs after it's done being cooked. So I'm gonna take 4 ounces times 1.3 and add that into MyFitnessPal. Alexa, what's 4 times 1.3?
4 times 1.3 is 5.2.
So 5.2 ounces is actually what I'm gonna be eating if it were raw. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the number to 5.2 in MyFitnessPal. Next, I'm going to add white rice. So the white rice is measured in grams. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the units to grams. Now, you wanna make sure you re-tear your scale so that it's back to 0. That way you know how many grams of rice you're actually gonna be having in your plate. So I'm just gonna do a nice heap and scoop because I got a good amount of carbs left for the day. That is a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that that's good enough for me. So that's 166 grams. So I'll input 166 grams into MyFitnessPal. Now the rice that I'm using in MyFitnessPal says cooked on it, so I don't need to do anything fancy. So the broccoli is measured also in grams, so I'm gonna change the units to grams, tear it so it's back to 0. And I found baked broccoli in MyFitnessPal, so I'm gonna be using that setting because, I'm gonna be using that nutrition facts because this is basically baked. So I will take a scoop of broccoli. Oops, gotta leave some for the fiance. All right, that's a lot of broccoli. So I got 147 grams of broccoli, so I will put that in MyFitnessPal and save it. So basically, yeah, that's basically it. I'll go over some math and details later. For example, serving size. Sometimes you can change the serving size to 1 ounce, which makes it easier to just put in the number in your FitnessPal. But sometimes you can't, and it says the serving size is 4 ounces. So say I had 5 ounces of beef, but the serving size is 4 ounces. You gotta take 5 ounces divided by 4 ounces to get how many actual servings you have. All right, guys, now that we're done with that, you must be a macro pro. I'm just kidding. So many questions you may have. Make sure you drop them in the comments below. Also, take a look at my macro video that I actually interviewed Dan, who is a nutritional coach. We did a Q&A session. Make sure you check out that video. Let me know what you think about this video. Drop it in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe, give it a thumbs up, share it to your friends and family. I'd appreciate that so much. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.